Today they will be voting on the 22-team format, which, by the way, yesterday when it was rolled out, we tried to figure it out on air. Literally, while our show was happening, Shams Charania of The Athletic, who'll be joining us tomorrow after this vote happens today, was just sending out more and more information about this 22-team setup. We have figured it out. We think. This is what will be happening and what they'll be voting on today for in Orlando, a tournament. The Western Conference has 13 teams going down there because 5 teams outside of the 8th seed, so 9 through 13, are within 6 games of the 8th seed. And remember, for the playoffs, the top 8 teams from each conference make it. So 5 in the Western Conference are within 6 games and 6 wins of the 8th seed, and only one team in the Eastern Conference was within 6 games of the 8th seed, which is the Washington Wizards. All of these teams will play another 8 games. Those 8 games will be added to their record from prior Tiger King, Joe Exotic, quarantine, okay? They had like 64, 65 games. Some of them have played one more game than other teams. I mean, it's going to be interesting. So they'll all play 8 more games down there against the teams that are down there. It'll account with the prior quarantine regular season for their overall record. Then they will be reseeded via the conferences with their records. If the top 8 will make it in each conference, unless the number 9 seed, after this happens, after the 8 more games are played, if the number 9 seed is within 4 games of the number 8 seed, the 8 seed and the number 9 seeds will play against each other for that pivotal 8 seed, which makes them get into the 16-team tournament. Now, if the 8 seed beats the 9 seed, which is within 4 games after 8 more games have been played, then the 9 seed is out. Okay. But if the 9 seed beats the 8 seed at that point, they have to beat them again because they're a lower seeded team and it's double elimination. So that leads to a couple questions. What if there are teams that are tied with the same record at 9, and there's 2 9 seeds that are within 4 games of the 8 seed? Do they then play a little round-robin tourney to see who gets in there? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue what's going to happen with the teams who have played one more game than other teams. How will they account for that? But I feel like to get to the 16-team tournament, which they are trying to do, all of these teams that you see on the screen right now, and if you're listening, the top 13 in the Western Conference, top 9 in the Eastern Conference, they'll play 8 more games. Top 8 seeds will go into a tournament. If the 9 seeds are within 4 games of the 8 seed, they'll play against each other to determine who the true 8 seed is. Then we have a 16-team tournament. Bingo, bango, the NBA's back.
All right! Yeah, you were talking about. The weird part is, so I just looked it up while you were talking, the Lakers have only played 63 games, while like the Mavs have played 67 games already. They all seem to fall between that 63 and 67 games. So they're all going to play 8. So like, do you just go off of winning percentage?
Probably. It's probably winning percentage. That would probably be the kick. The issue is, what if 2 9 seeds are tied and the 8 seed is within 4 games of them? Then what do they do with those 3 teams? And what if there's 3 teams tied, by the way?
Yeah. Which seed? There are right now.
And which there could be after 8 more games. What if there's 3 teams tied at 9? What do they do? Who knows? But I think the reason why they're doing this is because they want to account for the season that happened before the quarantine. Like, hey, what happened before the quarantine is valid. And we would argue that, yeah, it's valid. You're ranking the teams off of what happened beforehand. But then they're like, well, we would like to give some teams a shot at least to make it into the playoff, because the playoff hunt at the end of the NBA season is something that people do enjoy. For instance, Zion and the boys were almost making a run at a playoff spot. They're not in yet, but they have a chance to potentially get in. They're only a couple games out. Here we go. Now you got Zion potentially making it. The NBA definitely did not take the most easy route here. This is not the most easy path, but I like the fact that if you're within 4 games at 9 seed, you can play 8 to get in there, but you're going to have to beat them twice. And I think we'll eventually get to the point in which we all wish we were at, which is just a 16-team tournament. And maybe they're using these 8 games, by the way, to get the rust off of teams, to let them loosen up a little bit. What if Kevin Durant comes back for the Nets? What if Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving are playing for the Nets? Oh my God, is John Wall going to play? Oh my God! If you were injured before the quarantine and you got healthy during the quarantine and now you're ready to play, why wouldn't you make a run at this? It's just like March Madness. You get hot for 2 months, all of a sudden you got an NBA championship that can never be taken away from you. If the Nets win the NBA championship in his first year of Kyrie and KD there, with all the things that were said before the quarantine about this Nets team, why would they sign Kevin Durant to that deal? Oh, they're already turning on each other. Oh, Kyrie's not playing because they're not good. What if those two just get hot and just go right through? They can.
Oh, yeah.
That could happen we are in a wild time. The NBA did not choose the simplest way to do this, like the NHL did, for instance. But here we are. The NBA is voting on that today. We'll have more with Shams Charania on whether or not they say, yeah, let's do it, or no, let's not do it. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action.
No, not the simplest way, but it does seem like a very fair way because with 15 to 20 games left in the regular season, those teams that there's 4 or 5 teams that are within 4 games that could have caught the A seed in the normal regular season, so they're giving them a chance.
And I guess instead of just having to get hot in a little 2-game play-in tournament, you're giving a team a chance to really play. I would assume there's going to come a point, though, maybe 4 games into the last 8 games where there's going to be teams that are playing for nothing at that point. And they will not be able to make it within 4 games of the 8 seed. I'll be interested to see how that gets handled. Will they understand that this is all just a big content piece? And if they're all playing at the same place, by the way, I'm excited for there potentially to be, 30 cameras there?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to outfit that thing like Big Brother, right? There's going to be no crowd. They're going to have things mic'd in there. I think the coverage is going to be electric. It's going to be awesome. 8 more games for every team. Then let's get the seeding. Let's get to the tourney. Let's get the NBA done. Who wins the COVID championship of the National Basketball Association?
Do you think they should, once they do have those 16 teams set, do you think they should reseed and do no conferences and do it top to bottom like the original idea?
They would have to do conferences because they're already stating they're doing conferences, right? So they're already doing the conferences, so you would have to do it. The original thought was 1 through 16, no seeding. Was pumped about that. Was very pumped about that. I mean, the Lakers, if KD and Kyrie Irving were to come back, had a tough road. It was like Nets, then Rockets. Then potential Clippers or whoever, Bucks or whoever's over there. But now I think they'll stay Eastern Conference, Western Conference, just because I feel like that's pretty sacred in the NBA world.
I think it helps with the asterisk talk. Like if they were to do it the way that previously where there's no conferences, then it's a Mickey Mouse tournament, but this is what they've done every single year for all time.